Alright, what is going on, everybody? How do you like this nice Mirror's Edge music in the background during the pre-stream? How's everyone doing? Hopefully you're doing well. Today is Wednesday, June 8th, 2016. I am Darkside Phil. Hello and welcome to my gameplay stream for the day, which will be the continuation of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, the second day of gameplay. So a few things that I'd like to talk about. Observations mostly, okay? Regarding the game, regarding its reception, regarding people even coming out to watch. I mean, let me give you some perspective here. The stream has been on for 30 minutes. I started the stream 30 minutes ago. As of right now, we only have 147 people on stream. Now, typically, even if I'm playing a game that has no hype behind it, okay? Even if I'm playing a game that's an oldie, a game that isn't, like, super popular, I still can get a few hundred people. You know what I mean? And even yesterday, you know, the first day when it launched, Mirror's Edge Catalyst, we had around 400 people on stream. And it seems like I am absolutely pulling teeth to get people to come out to watch this. Now, I don't know what's going on with that. Some people in the stream chat are actually talking about it. Some people are saying, well, the game really has been reviewed poorly. If you actually look at reviews, everyone's basically disappointed by the game. They were looking for something better, or at least a big improvement over the original game that was 7-8 years ago, and it really isn't. A lot of people are saying people don't even know this game exists. That because it got delayed multiple times, that a lot of people, you know, this game actually was supposed to come out in late 2015, if you're not aware. And then it got delayed till last month, May, and then it got delayed again, and a lot of people are saying people don't even know it exists or care about it because of that. And a lot of people are just so caught up in E3 hype right now. We've got a lot of game trailers, and a lot of game news, right? We got release date for Persona 5, Injustice 2 trailer just released, and you're getting all this information about games we're going to see more of next week at E3. And I think that this game's, you know, any kind of hype that it had has kind of died out. You know, it needs to be said, it's interesting, right? Someone in the stream chat just said, you know, Overwatch, a game that came out, what, 2-3 weeks ago? 2 weeks ago, has still got 60,000 viewers on Twitch. You know, how many games after a couple of weeks still have a lot of retention on views? Not a lot. Mirror's Edge Catalyst is, like, non-existent. No one's really playing it or talking about it, apparently. That's disappointing. From a perspective of someone who was a huge fan of the original game, even though, I'll be honest, I had a lot of criticisms about the original game. I really enjoyed it, but at the same time, there were a lot of things that I thought there was room for improvement. Now, for those of you who've been following the playthrough, okay, and if you watched yesterday's footage, you may have noticed a few things, okay? Yeah, number one, the game still has the same game bugs as the original game. Now, that's kind of an accomplishment. I don't think I've ever heard of a game that after 8 years of waiting for a semi-sequel or reboot, that they literally contain the same game bugs as the original. I mean, that's like a feat. Yes, the same exact... Remember in Mirror's Edge 1? A couple times I fell and I was infinitely falling, and I couldn't stop infinitely falling, and then I had to reload a checkpoint and redo the entire stage. Guess what? Same thing here. The same exact thing happened yesterday. I fell, physics bug, couldn't stop falling, and had to reload from a checkpoint. Luckily, the checkpoint was very close nearby, unlike the original Mirror's Edge, where the checkpoints were actually pretty far apart, so I didn't have to replay too much. So at least that was an improvement, but the fact that the same game bugs still exist 8 years later is pretty much, it's a mind-numbing experience, let's put it that way. So that's number one. Number two, okay, the game at its face seems to be the original game, only now there's an open world that really serves no purpose, okay? The open world in Mirror's Edge Catalyst is pretty much for the sake of repetitive side content. Oh, I want to do all the collectibles in the city. Oh, I want to, you know, do a little bit of combat, disable all the antennas in the city. Oh, I want to do this. But what do you get for it? Does it open up new story? Does it open up anything significant? Not really. It just gives you upgrade points, which you use to upgrade the combat or upgrade your parkour, which, by the way, I've already been upgrading pretty consistently just by doing the story missions in my first day of gameplay. So it almost seems to me like the side stuff, right? The side stuff is there for the sake of being there rather than for the sake of advancement of the game or making the game feel like it's an improvement because it has it. And I'll be honest here, there's been a lot of games recently in the past few years that have struggled with this formula. You know, oh, our game has all this content. If you do all the content in our game, it's 50 hours long. Well, yeah, but is any of that content meaningful? Or is it just there for the sake of being there so you could say you have a 50-hour-long game, when in reality you have a 7-hour-long game, and, 40 hours of it is really boring and repetitive stuff that doesn't do anything. That's something to think about, right? So really, where the game is shining, at least in my opinion, are the story missions. You go inside this unique area. Maybe it's the lab that we infiltrated, or remember we went to these corporate offices, or then we went into this hacking area. We had to hack this thing. Remember that? That was actually fun. The areas looked different. The areas were unique. It felt a lot more like the original Mirror's Edge, where you have to use kind of puzzle solving to figure out, oh, how do I parkour up this wall, or wall jump off of this, or where do they want me to go next? And I like that, but the problem is, how exactly do you make a game from 8 years ago modern? And if the answer is, oh, we'll do this, the campaign is 8 to 10 hours long, which is the original game, but now make it open world with repetitive stuff that's boring, I don't know if that's the answer. You know what I mean? Like, maybe they needed to do something different. I know that there's no guns in this game that you can use, but still, you know what I mean? Like, something unique could have been done. The combat in the game, in my opinion, is kind of laughable. I think the combat is terrible. I do. I think it's just silly. I do. I think it's absolutely silly. You kick a guy, he goes completely ragdoll, he hugs another guy, and next thing you know, they're both dead. What the hell? Like, they couldn't do that better? I don't know. I played it in the beta. I was like, gee, I hope they improved that for the final game. And I'm sorry, I hate to say it. The final game's the same as the beta. I don't think there's been any improvements besides maybe a few frame rate improvements. Right? So anyway, we'll see. I'm going to keep playing it. Today we're going to go 3.5 hours, as usual. And tomorrow we're going to go 3.5 hours. Now, here's the thing, okay? I really don't like the side content of this game. I do think that it's boring. If I'm running from point A to point B for a story mission, and I see collectibles, I'll grab them. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get everyone. And I'm not going to go out of my way to do these antenna missions and all this stuff, because it really feels to me like every game copies Infamous and Far Cry. Really, because that's what those are the two games, open world games, tons of repetitive shit in the city to do, right? And it's like, how long do you really want to do it? So here's the thing. I've beaten 6 story missions. 6. Okay? I looked it up last night. There are 16 trophies for story missions, which means I think there's really only 16 based story missions in the game. 16 story-based missions in the game, excuse me. So if I continue on the pace that I did yesterday, alright, it seems to me that I'll beat it by tomorrow. Like, if I do another 6 story missions today, and then tomorrow, there's 4 left, then I might beat it tomorrow. That's good. If I do beat it tomorrow, what I think I'll do is probably maybe Friday night, I will review the game. I'll try to work on my Hateful Truth review and get it out for you this weekend at some point, okay? So we'll see. We'll have to see how it goes. I'm not going to rush it. I'm certainly not going to try to rush through the game. I paid full price for it. I want to get my money's worth. But at the same time, if there's not that much to do and if it's just repetitive side content and these story missions, then it might not be as a very long playthrough. Let's put it that way. Okay? So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I'll be fair to the game. I'll play it by ear. I'll judge it at face value. I'm not going to say, oh, just because there's not a lot of people on stream for it or whatever. I'm not going to take that as a judgment of the game. If anything, it might be just a judgment of the failure of the marketing team to make people know that the game's even out. Who knows, right? We'll see. Now, I see some people talking in the stream chat about the Witcher DLC. I don't know why. I've already explained this about 5 million times. I guess I'll do it again. Every day it seems like I need to bring this up. The Witcher 3 DLC, Blood and Wine, is on hold because it's incredibly long. There was no way I was going to beat it last week anyway. And I played it for a few sessions. And now it's on hold until I come back to streaming full-time next week. So probably Monday-ish. I don't know, because Monday's the heavy E3 day, so it might be Tuesday-ish. When I return to daily gameplay live streams, you're going to see The Witcher 3 Blood and Wine. It's going to resume then. It's going to be balanced with maybe, we'll see, you know, Persona 3. I don't know how long Mirror's Edge is actually in actuality. You know what I mean? So we'll see. We shall see what happens. But that's going to return next week. So chill out. Everyone out everywhere, why aren't you playing it? Because, let's face it, there's other stuff going on and I'm on time off. If this week were a normal week and I didn't take time off, right, at all, then I would have easily continued to play The Witcher 3. But it just is what it is. Keep in mind that when I arranged for this time off, The Witcher 3 DLC hadn't been announced. Mirror's Edge Catalyst was still coming out in May. When I originally scheduled this week for my week off, there was nothing going on. But then all the game releases decided to change the release dates, and there's nothing I could do about that. Alright, that's life. So it is coming, don't worry. I certainly did not write it off. I certainly am very much planning to get back to it next week. Alright. Fair enough. I'm sure next week there's going to be other stuff too, because E3 week, there's always indie games release, betas release, a million things always released during E3 week. So I very much expect the same thing this year is going to happen. Okay? Alright. So that's the deal, everyone. Now, update for everyone on what's been going on here with my time off. The good news is it looks like all of our painting is done. We got Leanna's office painted. Well, let me put it this way. I painted it, helped them paint it on Monday. It was me, my dad, and Leanna all painting on Monday. Yesterday, I couldn't help them. I was working. So Leanna and my dad finished off the second coat on everything. And it looks like today what they're doing is now they're cleaning the room. You know, when you paint it, you got all the shit all over the room. And then they're going to rearrange it and move the stuff in there. And Leanna's going to set up her office again. So as of the end of today, she might be up and running fully with her business and everything, which is cool. Which is good. Excuse me. And what it looks like is, you know, for later this week, I think on Friday, when I'm not going to be live streaming, I'll probably be doing some other stuff with my parents, probably trying to clean up. Like, my garage is a freaking mess. I have not had a chance to do anything with my garage at all in months. It's a mess. There's styrofoam and shit that I need to bring to styrofoam processing centers because you can't throw it out here in the state of Washington. And there's all kinds of stuff. I just haven't had a chance, so maybe we'll tackle that together or something on Friday. I don't know. But tonight we're actually going to have my homemade sauce with some pasta, so my mom will get to taste the latest version of my sauce with all the seasonings and everything in it. And I'm sure she'll have an opinion on it, because, you know, she has her own version of the sauce, and I've modernized it to my tastings, or my preferences, so that'll be fun. And we got a few more days. They're here till Saturday, actually. Saturday's the last day. So, yeah, on Saturday, they'll be finally finishing up their visit. And then I'm back to work, back to covering E3 and all of that. All right? All right, so that's pretty much it. I don't really want to go too much on a long pre-stream here. All right? Let me go ahead and just very quickly do a couple plugs. The first plug will be for Leanna's business, The Black Current. She's doing a week-long sale in honor of my parents' visit. It's at etsy.com/shop/The Black Current, spelled CURRANT. And if you use the discount code PARENTS20, that's the word parents and then the number 20, you can save 20% on an order of $10 or more until the weekend. So it's only good for this week. If you've been looking to possibly buy something from her business recently, or if you've been just thinking about it and you want to check it out, give it a look. All right? You will actually find that most people who've tried out her stuff really like it. And the bottom line is, most people who tried out her stuff were actually viewers. Viewers of my streams, viewers of her stuff, because she does a lot of stuff on YouTube too. And followers of us that say, oh, I'll just give it a shot, and they try it, and they really end up liking it. She got nothing but positive feedback ever since she launched the business back in February of 2015. So check it out. Special thanks to Gino Saji. He just posted up the link in the stream chat. Again, Parents20, Parents20, your discount code to save 20% until my parents depart on Saturday. The only other plug I'll give, obviously, is Patreon, patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Getting some good input on what days people will be able to participate in the upcoming multiplayer event that will happen in early July, so that's good. It should be interesting and fun, all right? And, you know, right now, a lot of patrons have also messaged me. They need to get their forum accounts upgraded. I'll be working on that later in the week, probably into the weekend. So expect by next week to have your forum accounts upgraded. But yeah, please consider pledging to my Patreon if you like my daily live streams and my on-demand videos. You want to see this continue. You want to see me be successful in the long term. That's how you can help out. All right? That's it. Pretty easy, huh? I don't want to go too long. I just want to get started. Thank you, everyone, for watching. It's time to begin. Even though we don't have too many people on stream, I'm still curious to see what this game has to offer. So let's jump back into it right now. Thanks, everyone, for being a little patient for the pre-stream. And I think it's time to begin the continuation of Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Here we go.